Hi, everybody. Bill Owen at our podcast microphone. And what's today's subject? Oh, yes, we're going to talk about scientists and inventors. We've done a lot of talk about athletes, sportscasters, Hollywood stars, old-time radio shows, radio theme songs, the great comedians and comedians, world philosophers we've mentioned. So now it's scientists and inventors. Time we pay tribute to people who've done so much for civilized world. And so many names come to mind right away. One of them is Alexander Graham Bell. Kind of interesting. Scottish-born inventor was born as Alexander Bell, and as a little boy he always wanted to have a middle name. So for his 11th birthday, his parents treated him. He said, "You can pick out a middle name," and he chose Graham. So we remember him today as Alexander Graham Bell, co-founder of American Telephone and Telegraph, AT&T, and given credit as the inventor of the telephone. Of course, a lot of people were working on things at that time, but he's the man. He came out with the. But he was influenced greatly by the fact that both his mother and wife were deaf. So being able to talk on the telephone became kind of an obsession of his. Alexander Graham Bell. How about Samuel Fb Morse? Now, what is FB? We know those initials. What do they stand for? Finley Breese. There's trivia at its best. Samuel Finley Breese Morse. Of course, the Morse code is named for him. He worked on the code himself. The famous dots and dashes, or dit and da. And he was interesting because he was actually a combination of an inventor and a painter. In fact, painting was his main occupation for many, many years before he got involved with inventing the telegraph. And that famous four-word line, "What hath God wrought?" That was when he perfected the telegraph. That went from the Supreme Court chambers in the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., to Baltimore, Ohio, B&O Railroad Station in Baltimore. What hath God wrought? Inventor of the telegraph, Samuel Finley Breese Morse. Oh, we want to mention Guglielmo Marconi. Guglielmo, of course, the Italian version of the name William, known as the father of broadcasting. There wouldn't be any radio without the work of Guglielmo Marconi, great Italian inventor. How about on the distaff side for Marie Curie? She's born in Warsaw, Poland, first woman to win the Nobel Prize back in 1903. Actually, she shared it with her husband, Pierre and Marie Curie, for their studies of radioactivity. In fact, Marie is given credit for coining that word, radioactivity. Well, not only did she win the Nobel Prize in 2003, but 8 years later, 1911, she won it again. This time, just Marie was awarded the prize for discovering polonium and radium. Marie Curie, what an important person she was in our history. And we want to talk about the Frenchman Louis Pasteur as we continue paying tribute to the great scientists and inventors of our time. Pasteurization, which enabled him to remove bacteria from beer and wine and milk. Very important process. How about the British scientist Joseph Lister? He certainly is important. Belongs in our Scientists and Inventors Hall of Fame. The father of modern surgery. Hard to believe, but surgeons back before his time weren't concerned about sterilizing their surgical equipment, and they had to be shown that this was causing a lot of casualties in the operating room by simply not sterilizing, keeping the instruments super clean. We owe that to Joseph Lister, another important scientist, an American scientist who gave us the polio vaccine. Jonas Salk. You know, he never filed a patent. He said he didn't feel that he wanted to profit financially. He just wanted to help cure polio. Polio had been a major problem in the United States. In the 1950s, they had a terrible outbreak of it. Jonas Salk. We owe him so much for helping to wipe out polio. And then there are the Aviation Pioneers, we're referring to here, Orville and Wilbur Wright. When I was a boy in school, they said that nobody knew which one of the brothers made the first actual flight, that they were going to wait until both had passed on before they would reveal it. And it turned out that they tossed a coin at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, for the first flight, 1903. And Wilbur, the older of the two, actually won the toss, but his attempt at flying lasted all of 18 inches it was, 18 inches before it crashed, so that wasn't considered a flight. So even though he won the toss, had the first shot, his brother Orville came along for the next one and made what's considered the first successful heavy-on-aircraft flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The brothers, of course, are from Dayton, Ohio. Henry Ford, not the inventor of the car, not by any means, but he did invent the first car that was affordable for middle-class Americans, and also devised the famous system of mass production. So he's one of the great inventors in our Hall of Fame. But I guess you'd have to say the king of all the inventors would be Thomas Alva Edison, the Wizard of Menlo Park, the phonograph, the movie camera, the electric light bulb. Thomas Edison had 1,093 patents personally. Held 1,093 patents. And the very first patent, you know what it was? It wasn't any of the aforementioned ones. It was for an electric vote recording machine. Very first of Thomas Edison's 1,093 patents. Oh, we owe so much to these men and women, scientists and inventors. And, of course, there are others we could pay tribute to. But for now, we're signing off our podcast, hoping you enjoyed it. It's always fun to get together, and we cover quite a wide range of things, as many of you know. We like to talk about old-time radio, we talk sports, baseball, we talk about the great Hall of Fame players. We talk about tennis, boxing, golf, philosophers, movie directors, movie and TV cowboys. Try to remember the names of the horses of the famous TV cowboys, like the Lone Ranger with Silver, of course, and Roy Rogers and Trigger, Dale Evans with Buttermilk, Hopalong Cassidy with Topper, Gene Autry with Champion. Buck Jones had a horse named Silver. There was Red Ryder, Johnny Mac Brown, Tom Mix. It's just fun reminiscing, and we hope to get together with you again soon. This is Bill Owen for now.